we're talking about giving your best. We'll talk about this vocabulary that you use when you need to take decisions. This is going to be like in a very professional context. I'm going to show you this vocabulary. Okay, so here we go. And we're recording, so please pay attention to this vocabulary here. So it's plans and decisions. We're going to learn some vocabulary, some collocations that are used to take a decision. A collocation is an expression in English. It's a choice of words or pairs of words that go together all the time. So you cannot replace them. You can't use another word. They always go together. Okay, so here, these collocations are about taking decisions. It's like in a very professional context. It says, Hans Brockhaus, a head of the company making garden furniture, is announcing to his senior staff plans he's making to move the business exclusively to the internet. Okay, so this is the context. And you're going to learn here a lot of vocabulary that you can use at work. This is like in a context in a company or with other workmates or with a boss. Entonces es Hans Brockhaus, el cabeza de la compañía o el jefe de la compañía. Hacen ellos muebles para jardines. Está anunciando el senior staff. Staff sería el personal, pero cuando es senior se refiere como a los directivos. Okay, the senior staff is the most important people, the ones that make decisions in all the companies. Y él está los planes que tiene para mover su negocio exclusivamente a Internet. Okay, so let's read this and we'll find out some vocabulary. In some of the expressions, you will realize that there's a number. For example, here's number 1. And if you go here below, you will find number 1, 2, which is the definition. Okay, so that way you can learn about the meaning of these collocations. And here, okay, we're going to learn a lot of vocabulary. So I would like to ask Laura, if you could help us, please. If you could help us read the from here. Desde as, from as to outlets, please. Okay, maybe Heidi, can you help us read, please, from as to outlets, please?
Yes, teacher. ¿Hasta dónde, teacher?
To outlets. You read out.
Okay.
So.
As you know, for some time now, we've been toying with the idea for transferring all our business to internet-only sales as a long-term solution to the problem of finding good retail outlets.
Okay. Excellent. So let's see what's these that we are reading. So it says, como saben, por algún tiempo, we have the expression for some time now, por algún tiempo, hemos estado, and this is what we're going to learn today. The present perfect continuous, este es presente perfecto continuo, que vamos a estar aprendiendo, but I would like to focus on the expressions, toying with the idea. Here, the verb is the verb toy. What is toy? Well, toy, you know, toy like Toy Story, right? What is toy?
Juguete.
Yes. So toying with the idea, what do you think it is?
Jugando con la idea.
Yeah, exactly. So toy is used when you like playing, right? So you can also use toy, for example, when a person abuses from the other's feelings. Como jugar también con los sentimientos de alguien es otro uso. For example, toy with feelings, with someone's feelings. But in this case, so toying with the idea, we could think like jugar con la idea, barajear las posibilidades. So that's toying with the idea. So it means considering, but not in a focused way. It's like just like una idea como flotando. I don't know how to translate exactly, but yes, is considering something, considering an idea. De transferir todos nuestros negocios a las ventas por internet solamente. Esto como una solución, and it says long-term solution. What is long-term? Solution. What is a long-term solution?
Largo plazo.
Solución a largo plazo.
Exactly. Muy bien, una solución a largo plazo. Exactly. Al problema de encontrar buenos, well, you know, the meaning of outlets. ¿Saben qué es un outlet?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, very well. So it's like this shop where you can buy some things in a discount. Hay una tienda como de descuentos. But in this case, it also means una salida o un medio, right? A good retail outlets. A retail is, like there are two kinds of shops, we could say. Retail al por menor. And we have also wholesale, que sería al por mayor, right? So when is retail, when you want to sell a few things or a few products to a lot of clients. And wholesale is the opposite, is to buy, to sell lots of things to a few people, right? Retail, that will be the meaning of retail. So this company is retail, ventas al por menor, o sea, vender, digamos, pocos productos, pero llegar a muchas personas. The wholesale is llegar a pocas personas, pero vender por muchos productos. Eso es el wholesale. Okay, so we have retail and wholesale, like, I don't know, the first example you can think is Costco, right? So that is wholesale. Okay, very well. So we're learning a little bit of vocabulary too. So let's continue reading. Vamos a pedirle ahora a Uriel si puede leer desde Yule, from Yule to people, please.
Yes, teacher. You remember that at the last team meeting, Rob unveiled a plan to
Unveil.
move the line.
What is it here? Unveil?
Unveil. Unveil a plan to move the line to the web in three phases
Phases.
over 9 months. Phases over 9 months. And Philippa did a great job drumming new support for the move among the sales and marketing people.
Excellent. So I want to tell you, right, this word is pronounced phases, because we also have the plural of face, which is faces, right? Faces son caras, right? Como lo escribí en el chat, faces, pero se pronuncia la C como si fuera una S, faces. When you have this word, esta S se pronuncia como una Z. So you say faces, faces. Check faces, caras, faces, faces. Okay, so they can sound like the same, but not. One is faces, this one is phases. Okay, very well. So it says, recordarán que en la última reunión del equipo de Rob, unveiled. ¿Qué es unveiled? We have here number 2. So unveiled comes from veil. Veil is something which you cover your face with, algo con lo que te cubres, como el velo de una novia, right? Veil. Entonces, veil, lo que vamos a utilizar aquí como verbo, unveil. What do you think is that?
Cubierto.
Exactly, descubierto. Descubierto, unveil. Descubrir como aquí dice mostrar o hacer conocido por la primera vez. Ok, entonces como develar o revelar un plan de mover la línea al internet en 3 fases en 9 meses. Y Filipa hizo un gran trabajo, and here we have an interesting expression, it's drumming up support. You can see here the meaning in number 3, but yeah, it's easy because some expressions in English, like maybe you don't know the meaning, but you can, quizá en ese momento no conozcas el significado, pero tienen sentido, aunque sea la primera vez que las leas. So maybe you already know what drums are. You know what is the meaning of drums? What are drums?
Es como tambor.
Tambores, exactly. So here we're using as a metaphor in the verb drumming up. Filipa hizo un gran trabajo en drumming up, we could think, support, apoyo. So you can like think, have an idea. So Filipa es como quien iba con los tambores, ahí apoyando la idea. All right. So yes, that's increasing support for something, como dar mucho apoyo, es como simplemente dar apoyo a una idea. ¿Ok? Para el movimiento en medio de las ventas y de las personas o el personal de ventas y marketing. Okay, so she was, Filipa, the one who was excited about it, era la que estaba más emocionada o la que daba más apoyo a la idea. Okay, well, so we see lots of expressions, right? And check that the context is it's about work. It's something that you can use in a company or with your workmates or with your boss. And this is what the boss is telling the employees, the staff. Okay, let's continue reading. Vamos a leer, please. Miguel, could you help us read from since then to 12 months, please?
Since then, as you also know, we've had a slight change of plan and acting on a suggestion from the logistic team, we now decide that the move should happen over 12 months.
Excellent. Since then, what is the meaning of since then?
Desde entonces,
Excellent. Desde entonces, como ustedes saben, we've had, this is, we have had, right? This is the present perfect. Hemos tenido un ligero cambio de planes. So that's the meaning of slide, un ligero cambio de planes. Y actuar de acuerdo a la sugerencia, that's number 4, right? Acting on a suggestion. es actuar de acuerdo a la sugerencia from the logistics team, del equipo de logística. Hemos decidido que el movimiento debería suceder en 12 meses. Okay. Let's continue reading, please, Dante. Could you read this part in order to ask the schedule, please?
Yes. In order to implement such a plan, we need to draw up a schedule and stick to that schedule.
Good. Schedule. Schedule. Okay, so it says, para implementar tal plan, necesitamos, and we have draw up a schedule. Do you remember the word schedule, guys? What is the meaning of a schedule?
Horario.
Un horario. Excellent. But draw up is not about drawing, okay? It's like designing a schedule and stick to that schedule. The expression stick, you can think about stick because of the word stickers. Stickers are something that stick, algo que se pega, right? So stick to, adherirse a ese horario. So design a schedule and adhere or stick to that schedule. Okay, so in this paragraph, do you find anything, any word that you don't remember or that you don't know the meaning in this first paragraph? Any questions?
No, teacher, thank you.
Okay, very well. So now we have the next paragraph. Can you please help us, Itzel, please? Let's read from so to things.
Yes, teacher. So I'd like to make a tentative suggestion. Before we launch
Sorry, but we can repeat. Suggestion.
suggestion.
Okay.
Before we launch Steam, I think we shall invite the web designer to come here and take us through through the process from their side. ¿Hasta ahí o sigo?
Continue, please.
Okay, that will have us the opportunity to exercise greater control over things.
Things. Excellent. Okay, so it says, entonces, me gustaría hacer una suggestion, es una sugerencia. Tentative. What do you think is the meaning of this expression? Tentative suggestion.
Como posibles sugerencias.
Exactly, very well. So when you say tentative, it's like a way of saying that you're not sure if they will be accepted. It's like es algo tentativo, right? It's like we also use this expression in Spanish, but yes. So it's a suggestion, but tentative. Okay. So also it's like a very polite way, right? If you're talking to other people so that you don't sound, especially because remember that he's the head of the company, right? All these texts that we're reading, all this green chart, is the head of the company, right? So he needs to be polite and he's like trying not to sound like imposing his ideas, right? Como que no quiere sonar como que está imponiendo sus ideas. So that's why he uses these expressions. Okay, then it says before we launch the scheme. Notice that sometimes the CH, la que nosotros llamamos che, en realidad se pronuncia como una k, right? For example, in the word schedule, or in the word, in this case, scheme. Scheme is very similar to schedule. Okay, so scheme es un esquema. So it says, I'm serving some water. Before we launch the scheme, antes de que lancemos el esquema o el plan, right? Creo que deberíamos invitar a los diseñadores web a venir aquí y tomar, que nos lleven a través del proceso desde su perspectiva. From their side, desde su perspectiva. Okay, sorry, I was drinking some water. That will give us the opportunity to exercise greater control over things. So what is the meaning of this? Is eso nos dará la oportunidad de ejercer mayor control sobre las cosas. Okay. So basically they don't want the web designers to do everything themselves. Ellos quieren estar ahí con los diseñadores web para que puedan diseñar su página y ellos estén ahí para que ellos puedan tener también control, right? Okay, well, let's continue. Please, I think that we go back to Heidi, please. I don't.
Yes, teacher. I don't think we should just leave everything to their discretion. I am just aware of how important it's going to be to cover every eventuality before we commit 100 to the internet.
Okay, so then it says, no creo que deberíamos dejar todo a su discreción. Remember, there se refiere a the web designers. Aquí están hablando de la discreción de los diseñadores web. What do you think is the expression to their discretion? To their discretion. What do you think that is?
A su discreción.
Exactly. Very well. A su discreción. So it's like, just leave everything to their judgment. Dejar todo a su juicio o a su opinión. All right. Y dice, estoy consciente de que cuán importante será cubrir cualquier eventualidad. Okay, so I think we understand, right? Cover every eventuality, like any possible situations, difficulties, before we commit 100% to the internet, antes de que nos comprometamos 100% con el internet. Okay, very well. So again, we have tentative suggestion. Launch the scheme, exercise great control. To someone's discretion, puede ser aquí, en vez de there, puedes decir to your discretion, to my discretion, to the lawyer's discretion, okay, and cover every eventuality. Any questions about any of the words or the expressions in this paragraph?
Teacher, can you repeat cover every eventuality what means?
Yes, cover is like be careful about when you say eventuality, like just like in Spanish, the eventuality is any possible situation, difficulties, like everything that could go wrong. Todo lo que podría ir mal.
Eventualidad.
Yes, exactly. So
Cubrir
you
cualquier eventualidad.
Exactly, cubrir cualquier eventualidad.
Thank you.
Yes, very well. What I like about this topic is that it's focused like on a professional, like we could say like in a professional environment, because most of you work, and well, and this is like a typical conversation, right? And at work. Let's see, please. Uriel, can you help us read the next paragraph from we to consideration?
Yes, teacher. We propose to end your relationship with the garden centers where we currently sell. We have reached this decision after careful consideration.
Excellent. Proponemos finalizar nuestra relación con los centros jardineros donde actualmente vendemos. You see, currently, actualmente, vendemos. Hemos alcanzado esta decisión después de consideración cuidadosa. Okay, so check like we have, they use the word reach. Reach means alcanzar. So in this case, reach this decision. So you say take a decision, but you can say reach the decision when a decision is usually more difficult. When you have to think about a lot of factors, and you say, okay, now we reached this decision because it wasn't easy. And let's read the last, so please, it's okay, you read from we to choice.
Who, teacher?
I think it said itself, but can be Miguel, please, from we to choice, please.
Yes, teacher. We don't believe that realistically it's the only option. It's the only option open to us. The deciding factor was losing our biggest customer, the Greenway Garden Center chain. After that, we really had no choice.
Okay, very well. So we do believe, nosotros realmente creemos que realistamente, de forma realista, es la única opción abierta para nosotros. El factor decisivo, here, the deciding factor, el factor decisivo era perder nuestro mayor cliente, el centro jardinero, la cadena de centros jardineros, Greenway. Después de eso, realmente no teníamos opción. Okay, very well. So we have, after careful consideration, option open to us and the deciding factor. So tell me, do you have questions about the vocabulary in this well, all this text?
No, teacher, thank you.
Okay, excellent. So let's check the next one, is making plans. Okay, so Heidi, could you please help us on this green chart? It says, nota colocations in this speech. Nota las colocaciones en este discurso. Al inicio de un summit, es como un congreso juvenil anual. Okay, so please help us read this text with this information, please.
Yes, teacher. Good morning, friends, and welcome to our summit, the first of what we plan as an annual event. I have been waiting for this day with eager anticipation for a long time. We came up with the idea 5 years ago, and preparations have been underway ever since. There was a certain amount of necessary groundwork to do. Of course, before our sponsors, we are able to reach the decision to support us. But then we were able to turn our attention to how best to put our ideas into practice.
Excellent. So the expressions are eager anticipation. When you use the word eager, usually it means with a lot of excitement, anxiously. But here also you have the meaning because there's this number one and number one here too. So what's your opinion of the meaning of eager anticipation? What is eager anticipation?
Es hacer algo con mucha anticipación.
Wait, although when you say anticipation, it's not like we say in Spanish anticipación. It's like eager anticipation. It means esperar algo con mucha emoción. Yeah, a lot of excitement. Yes, in this case, it's not about the time, the anticipation of the time, but it's about the feelings of waiting for something. Y aquí también noten que tenemos I have been waiting, que es el presente perfecto that we are going to learn today too. Okay, then says we have came up with the idea. This is in past. In present, you say come up with an idea. This is a phrasal verb. You use come up with. Come up with. Come up with. And usually you can say come up with an idea. Okay. So what is the meaning of come up with an idea? Remember, come up in this case is like unexpectedly, you don't, it like comes out of nowhere. Like occur. What do you think is come up with an idea? In this case, we don't have any definition in the book, but could you tell what the meaning of this is? When you say come up with, imagine like the typical this I don't know if you ever seen this picture of the light bulb, and you're like, oh, I have an idea. So you have this.
Teníamos esta idea. Veníamos con
Yes,
esta idea.
como que se te ocurrió una idea. Yes, come up with this. Get the idea, but unexpectedly, sin esperarlo. Es una idea que se te ocurrió. In this case, in past, right? We came up with the idea 5 years ago, and preparations have been underway. Underway is underway. We have two expressions here: underway and in groundwork. Underway is like, if you check the meaning of this word, we have under, debajo, way, camino, right? So when you use the expression underway, it's like some preparations that are maybe not visible, but that they have been, how I think the expression in Spanish would be tras bambalinas, right? So that means that it's not visible, but there are people working on it. And there's preparations that are not visible to other people, but there is some work, okay? And entonces, preparaciones como que han estado ocurriendo, and was certain amount of necessary groundwork. And so the same, right? Groundwork is the work done in preparation. El trabajo que se hace en la preparación. So necessary groundwork is that el trabajo que se hace, igual que underway, no es visible, es como tras bambalinas, right? So we have groundwork or underway, they're basically the same. Okay, so this says sponsors. You know the meaning of sponsors?
Patrocinadores.
Exactly, very well. We have reached a decision, which we already learned, and it says, but then we were able to turn our attention to how best to put our ideas into practice, cómo poner nuestras ideas en práctica. Put our ideas into practice. Excellent. Any questions in this text?
No, teacher. Thank you.
Excellent. So all this can help you to talk about your ideas, to talk about your plans, any professional projects. Please help us, Uriel. No, or maybe itself, please, can you help us read the next paragraph? It says rejecting plans. Now, rejecting plans, it means not accepting plans. That's the meaning of rejecting. Please, it's okay. You read this paragraph. Okay, Uriel, please.
Okay, rejecting plans. Someone may declare outright opposition or outright hostility to a plan. Say they are completely opposed, hostile. A plan can be rejected out of hand, totally rejected. Those who do not like a plan or
Peace.
of war may peace of war may offer constructive criticism,
Criticism.
criti- criticism, no,
Criticism.
criticism, which useful and intended to help or improve.
Okay, excellent. So here we have the clear outright opposition. Outright opposition or outright hostility. Hostility, right? That's hostility. And we have also hostile. Hostile and hostility, hostilidad, right? So when they are completely opposed, and so the clear out, when you say the clear outright opposition, it can be I think that usually this happens with the politics, right? I think that in politics is where people used to be like more extreme, like they can show like they don't like the plans of the government. For example, the Mayan train, and they are showing no, they're going to destroy the jungle, and it's a waste of resources and the money, right? Well, that's the clear outright opposition. It's like is not only saying, okay, I don't agree, but no, in this case, when you declare outright opposition or outright hostility, is like to be very extreme in saying that you don't like an idea. Okay. So from these expressions, we could have people that maybe they march or they have some protests because they don't like. Okay. And it says rejected out of hand. When you use the expression reject out of hand, or when something is rejected out of hand, it means totally rejected. Aquí tenemos el significado, right? Rechazar totalmente algo, rejected out of hand. And if maybe people can also give constructive, you say, criticism. Criticism es una crítica constructiva. Okay. And so here, just the word is pronounced criticism, just as some other words like organism. I don't know. I can think of other ideas, but yes, when you have this SM, you have to imagine that you have an E in the middle of the S and the M, so you can pronounce criticism, organism. Okay, so it's like a small E in the middle of those two letters. Okay, any questions here?
Yes, teacher. Outright opposition or outright hostility is not polite. It's correct?
It's not polite. Exactly. It's like violent.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, excellent. So you see, we can use this vocabulary when we make plans. So we see like a lot of it. Okay, so well, it's always interesting to learn these expressions. We learned this vocabulary also the previous class. We're going to check this and then the reading for today. So this is the topic that the grammar topic that we have today, that is the present perfect with the present perfect continuous. The present perfect, we already learned this topic. So when do we use the present perfect? Do you remember anything about the present perfect? Not the present perfect continuous, just the present perfect. Do you remember the use of the present perfect? Do you remember when and why do we use the present perfect? Do you remember when do we use the present perfect?
It's something happened.
Mhm. Exactly, when something happened. And do you know when? Do you know when it happened? No, because
Past, teacher, I don't remember. So
when you know when it happened, you use the simple past, right? For example, I ate grasshoppers 1 month ago. So when I say 1 month ago, is I know when this happened. So I use the simple past when I know when the event happened. In this case, hace un mes, right? I ate grasshoppers 1 month ago. Hace un mes. Okay. Simple past, but let's imagine that you don't mention 1 month ago. So you just mention it as an experience, as something that you've done in all your life. So you would say that you would use the present perfect using I have eaten grasshoppers before, anteriormente, but I'm not saying when. I'm not saying yesterday. I'm not saying like 2 years ago. You don't know when they happen. So the present perfect, you use it when something happened in the past. Actually, the present perfect is the past, but you're not mentioning any time, like in the simple past, yesterday, 2 weeks ago. So I'm just saying this as an experience in my life, but I'm not telling you when, just as an experience that I have had before. I have traveled to the USA. When? You don't mention it, you just mention as an experience. Have you ever traveled to the USA? Have you been to China? Have you eaten chankonade? Right? So these are, use the present perfect when you talk about your experiences, which is something something in the past. Even though it says present perfect, the present perfect is not about the present tense, is a past tense. Okay. Here we're going to learn the present perfect continuous. So another use, just like the chart says, use the present perfect continuous for experiences that happen at an indefinite time. Indefinite time is the key. Es decir, que el tiempo no se sabe. In the past and continue to the present, y que continúan hasta el presente. So here we have the expression, for example, I have lived. I have lived. He vivido. Okay, so I have lived here for 6 years. So this is a continuous action. Maybe the verb live is not often used as a continuous, but we could use I have been And here you would use living. He estado viviendo aquí por 6 años. So it's the same when you say I have lived or I have been living. It's basically the same. But here you are like emphasizing the time, right? To emphasize the time you've been doing something. You could also say, I have worked here all my life. I have worked here all my life. This is present perfect. The present perfect continuous is I have been working here all my life. I have been working here all my life. So this will be like, he estado trabajando aquí toda mi vida. So how do we make the present perfect continuous? So you would need to use have or has. Remember, has is with the third person, he, she, it. Then you need to use the auxiliary been. In this case, been doesn't change. So been is estado. Okay. And then we need a verb in the general form in the present continuous. For example, you see climbing, working, living. Okay. A verb in ing. And that's it. That's how you make the present perfect continuous. All right. So here we have a couple of more exercises here. Okay, so let's try to complete this chart. Would like to ask Miguel, can you please help us complete this chart from this side, please? Where have you been climbing?
Yes, teacher. I I've been climbing at the club.
Okay, I have.
I have been climbing at the club. I haven't been climbing in the mountains.
Okay, how can we translate these sentences? How could we translate? Where have you been climbing?
¿Dónde has escalado?
¿Dónde has estado escalando?
¿Dónde has estado escalando? He estado escalando en el club y no he estado escalando en las montañas.
Excellent. Very well. And let's complete this part 2, please. Now the right side.
Who, teacher?
And you, please, can you help me with this? Now this part.
Have you been training a lot? Yes, I have. No, I haven't.
Excellent. Okay. Let's see. Now we ask, please, Uriel, please help us to complete this part, this section.
What has she been doing? She has been running a club. She hasn't been working in an office.
Excellent. Okay. Itzel, please help us with this part. Okay, maybe Heidi, please help us with this exercise.
Yes, teacher. Have she been climbing for a long time? Climbing for a long time.
Excellent. Has she been climbing? Okay, very well. Has she been climbing for a long time? Yes, she has. No, she hasn't. Okay. And here we have like, what is the difference with the present perfect and the present perfect continuous? Well, there are some contexts in which the present perfect continuous doesn't make sense, right? For example, it says, you use the present perfect for experiences that happen and are now complete, and use the present perfect to emphasize the result. Okay, so he used to be a professional rock climber, but he has stopped climbing, pero él ha dejado de escalar. So in this case, it's a completed action. Es una acción que se ha completado. He has stopped climbing. No sería correcto que decir has been stopping. Se ha estado deteniéndose o ha estado dejando, right? So in this case, you would only say has stopped. Ha dejado de escalar. So in this case, sometimes the simple past can be a synonym of the present perfect. You can say, I ate chocolate. I don't know, I just ate chocolate. Acabo de, no, acabo de comer chocolate. Okay. Or you can say, I have just eaten chocolate. Acabo de comer, I he comido chocolate. So it's basically the same, right? Sometimes the simple past and the present perfect can be synonyms. This is more like a British form, and this is more the American form. But you can say, I ate chocolate or I have eaten chocolate, and both actions are completed. Y ambas oraciones están completadas en el pasado. So in this situation, you would not use the present perfect continuous because you mean that the action is finished from this perspective. Here, then we have use the present perfect continuous to emphasize the action. Okay, so for example, she has been climbing since she was 4, desde que ella tiene 4. Y esto enfatiza el hecho de que esta actividad, esta acción, no lo ha dejado de hacer desde ese entonces. She has been climbing. Okay, so she was 4 like a baby, right? Okay, so we're going to practice this activity with the present perfect. And we have the exercises. Okay, let's work just on the exercise 6, please, for your homework. So this exercise 6 is the page 15. Okay, please work on it. And tomorrow we will continue with this topic. We will learn some vocabulary. We're going to read this article and we will learn the past perfect and past perfect continuous. Okay, so guys, thank you for joining us, and well, I would like to wish you then a good day. So take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Teacher.